The Invisible Path, a story that will change the way you see success. What if everything you thought about success was wrong? You've been told to work harder, push yourself more, and chase your dreams with everything you have. But what if I told you that the harder you chase, the further success seems to slip away? This is the story of Elliot Carter, a man who spent years running after success, only to find himself stuck in the same place. Until one day, a journey to Japan and a conversation with a mysterious Zen master changed his life forever. This is not just a story, it's a lesson that has the power to shift your entire perspective. If you've ever felt frustrated, stuck, or lost in your pursuit of success, then you need to hear this. And trust me, you'll want to listen again and again because the wisdom hidden in this story will reveal something new every time. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more life-changing stories like this. Now sit back, open your mind, and let's begin. Chapter 1: Broken Dreams. Elliot Carter stared out of the window of his small apartment in central London. The clock struck 2 a.m. The city lights reflected off the glass, making everything look hazy and surreal. He had just finished another long day at the media company where he had worked for 6 years. Every day, Elliot pushed himself harder than anyone else, working to exhaustion, yet promotion always seemed to elude him. Younger, less experienced colleagues kept moving ahead, while he remained stuck in place. What am I missing? He asked himself. Elliot had read dozens of self-help books, attended seminars on success, yet nothing changed. He was desperate for answers. One late night, while absent-mindedly scrolling through his phone, he came across an article about a Zen temple in Kyoto, Japan, home to a wise master who had helped many people find direction in life. Without much thought, Elliot booked a flight. He needed answers, and maybe Japan would help him find them. Chapter 2: Kyoto, the City of Mysteries. Japan welcomed Elliot with fresh air and spotless streets. From the airport, he took a train to Kyoto. This city was nothing like London. There was no rush, no noise, only small, peaceful streets lined with traditional houses. The temple he sought was on a high hill, hidden behind a dense bamboo forest. As he passed through the old wooden gate, a mix of excitement and nervousness filled his chest. An elderly man, dressed in a simple robe, was sweeping leaves in the courtyard. When Elliot approached, the old man looked up, his eyes both kind and piercing. "What have you come here to find?" Elliot hesitated. He wasn't sure how to answer. I want to know how to be successful." The Zen master smiled, as if he had heard the question 1,000 times before. He set down his broom and gestured toward the garden. "Follow me." Chapter 3: One question, many answers. They walked through a silent rock garden where small white pebbles had been raked into perfect waves. The master sat down on a wooden bench and motioned for Elliot to sit across from him. "How badly do you want success?" "A lot," Elliot answered immediately. "I'm willing to do anything." The master nodded slowly. "If you give your best effort, how long do you think it will take you to be successful?" Elliot thought for a moment. 5 years, maybe 10? The master looked into his eyes. 20 years? Elliot frowned. "But if I work even harder, shouldn't I achieve success sooner?" The master smiled again. 30 years. Frustration began to creep into Elliot's voice. "Why? The harder I try, the longer it takes." The master pointed to a cherry tree nearby, its petals falling gently to the ground. "When you fix one eye on the goal, You have only one eye left to see the path. Chapter 4. The Lesson of the Cherry Tree. Elliot watched the petals drift downward. They were in no hurry. They did not worry about when they would reach the ground. The master continued. Imagine you are climbing a tall tree to reach its fruit. If you only look up at the fruit and think about how sweet it will taste, you may lose your balance and fall. But if you focus on each step, paying attention to where you place your hands and feet, you will eventually reach the top safely. A realization began to form in Elliot's mind. All his life he had seen success as a destination, but perhaps his obsession with the result was preventing him from truly progressing. Chapter 5. A New Path. In the days that followed, Elliot stayed at the temple, learning to slow down. He trained himself to notice the small details of life, the sound of the wind, the way the sunlight changed throughout the day, the feeling of cold water against his skin in the morning. Slowly, he understood that success was not just about reaching a goal, but about experiencing each moment along the way. When he returned to London, Elliot no longer obsessed over climbing the corporate ladder. He still worked hard, but instead of stressing over the outcome, he learned to enjoy the process. And then one day, when he least expected it, the door to success finally opened. Final message. This story is not just for Elliot, it is for all of us. In life, we often become so fixated on reaching the top that we forget the value of the journey itself. But if we learn to embrace each step, success may come more naturally. Because sometimes the greatest reward is not the destination, it's the effort we put in along the way.